Well, let's discuss this further now with Stephen Nagi, a visiting fellow at the Japan Institute of International Affairs. He's joining us also from Tokyo. Thank you so much for your time, Stephen. So a resignation, as we heard, that doesn't really come as a surprise. How much of this is about Ishiba's personal underperformance, and how much is it about the civil war within the LDP, where we know senior conservatives were determined to push him out?
It's both. He lost both upper house and lower house elections this year. The relationship with the United States has been, I would argue, rocky, and that is a big shift from the previous governments. And of course, the relationship with China was moving in a direction that I think conservatives within the LDP were not in favor of. So certainly it was performance, and again, performance on gender equality, performance on dealing with demographic challenges that are critical. But also, I think Prime Minister Ishiba was seen as someone that was unrepresentative of where the LDP understood that their conservative credentials were, and that it was time for him to be pushed out. And that's what's happened today.
Stephen, you mentioned the relationship with the US, but there were also the rising tensions with China. Where did he go wrong the most on foreign policy?
Well, I think when he first came into power, there was some sense that he would be much harder on defense, more hawkish, because he was a former defense minister. But what we saw is his foreign minister Iwaya, one of his first visits was to China, and most conservatives would say that he was soft on China, not taking the security risks as seriously as previous prime ministers. And he was shifting away from the security consensus that was made under the late Prime Minister Abe Shinzo, which understood engagement with China was critical, but engagement from a strong relationship with the United States, with Australia, and with other partners within the region. With the United States, on the other hand, again, it was seen that he was seen to be creating a distance between the two, even though I think, in practice, there was really not much difference. But he was also seen as mismanaging the tariff negotiation, as well as the alliance in general. So in both the most important relationships, Prime Minister Ishiba wasn't seen as a strong steward. And as a result, again, the conservatives within the party have punished him by pushing him out.
Right. And now, alongside the LDP's internal struggles, we've also seen in Japan the growth of anti-immigration parties calling to make Japan great again, similar to what we heard in the US, Donald Trump calling on Americans to make America great again. How serious a challenge are these movements to the mainstream political order in Japan?
So what we've seen over the past election is that the Sanseito, a more right-of-center party, has really started to say, we've had too many migrants, too many tourists in the country, and they're causing problems for Japanese. We've seen property prices in central Tokyo increase quite dramatically, really making it inaccessible for the ordinary Tanaka or Suzuki. And this has, as a result, created more, resistance or a sense that there's been too many migrants that are allowed to come to Japan. They don't have an immigration policy, by the way. And again, I think these parties have basically blamed the increase of property prices on migrants. Okay. So this is something that we see in many countries.
Right. Briefly, Stephen, possible successors now to Ishiba. Who are the main contenders?
There is a woman, Takichi Sanae, who has the conservative credentials that I think the late Prime Minister Shinzo Abe would appreciate. She's had all those important positions within the LDP to be the leader. Young Koizumi Shinjiro, he's young but popular amongst the youth, and he may be that kind of person that brings a bit more mojo back into the LDP, as well as former Foreign Minister Hayashi Yoshimatsu, who again was seen as an important neutral and rather centrist leader. I think these are probably the candidates. Out of the box, the Minister of Economic Security could be as well a contender. His name is Mr. Kobashi, and I think those are the four contenders. But likely, I think we're going to move towards a conservative leader.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, Stephen. Thank you for your insights. Stephen Nagi is from the Japan Institute of International Affairs.
Thank you.